morning, everyone. Today's Wednesday, October 13th, 2021, and we're here for a work session. We're going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance. And Frank, can you please take the lead?
Readily. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Frank. Before we begin, I want to acknowledge the passing of a local hero, an animal whisperer of sorts, and a beloved member of our community who passed away this past Saturday. Dr. John Andreessen, co-founder of the Mattituck Laurel Veterinary Hospital, was a dedicated and compassionate caregiver, treating animals both small and large over 55 years. John was well known to area farmers, making farm calls to treat area livestock, and was the only large animal veterinarian in the area. In addition, for his love for animals, John served as Riverhead High School pole vaulting coach for decades, dedicating his time to our area's youth. And that's very important. We need to continue engaging our youth. John was a well-known, beloved member of our community, and we're going to miss him. And the farm community is devastated over this passing. My thoughts and prayers go out to his wife, Mary Beth, and his children, and the rest of the Andreessen family. And we're going to move on to our agenda. Due to last-minute scheduling changes, we do not have any items on this for discussion today, and there are no items were requested by any of the council people or the department heads, so we're going to go right into resolutions
Okay,
today.
and I just want to respond. First of all, I want to send my prayers out to Mary Beth Andreessen and the entire Andreessen family. Dr. Andreessen was such a cool guy. He was still, of course, a wonderful veterinarian and still pole vaulting, up until recent years. So my prayers go out to them. I also want to mention that the country fair went, considering the weather, I thought the country fair went very well. And I do want to thank the people that put the country fair together. As far as the agenda, which today only has the Pledge of Allegiance on it, I do want to bring up that I requested publicly that car storage discussion be on the work session agenda, and it has been 2 weeks. I think that is a very pressing issue. We've got real concerns out there with the cars and the fires. I want to discuss having cars, with the electric cars, removed because of fire hazards, and I absolutely requested for something on the agenda.
And Councilman, Councilwoman, I'm sorry, I can assure you we do have that on the tentative queue for next week, along with several other items that we had on for today that we had to punt to next week. So,
All right, thank you, Devin.
sure.
Okay. Okay.
Supervisor, if we're ready, I'll jump right into resolutions.
Yes, we are ready. Thank you.
Okay. So resolution number 1 adopts amendment to Chapter 213 of the Riverhead Town Code entitled Electric Scooters. Number 2 authorizes the supervisor to execute a location agreement with Possible Productions, Inc. Number 3 adopts a local law to amend Chapter 253 entitled Outdoor Dining of the Code of the Town of Riverhead. Number 4 adopts local law for moratorium on the development of commercial solar energy production systems. Number 5 authorized town clerk to publish and post a notice to bidders for wellhead treatment for removal of perfluorinated compounds at plant number 5, capital project number 11A, project number RDWD 2102. Number 6 extends bid nunc-pro-tunc for electronic waste collection and recycling. Number 7 approves special event Chapter 255 application of Bold Broadcasting for Holiday Light Show. Number 8 sets public hearing for 2022 annual budget. Number 9 appoints call-in recreation aide 1. Number 10 rescinds resolution to consolidate recreation and senior departments into Department of Intergenerational Services. Number 11 extends bid contract for well and pump service for Riverhead Water District. Number 12 sets work schedules for water treatment plant operator trainees in the Water District.
Right, so I'm just going to make mention that the Water District Superintendent, Frank Mancini, is working this issue out with the union, and based on his ability to get it finalized, we may have to table this come Tuesday's meeting.
I'll second it.
Okay, number 13, public interest order in the matter of the increase and improvement of facilities of the Riverhead Water District. Number 14, authorizes the issuance of $5,976,000 bonds for the increase and improvement of the facilities of the Riverhead Water District. Number 15, ratifies authorization for supervisor to enter into a stipulation between the Town of Riverhead and Local 1000, AFSCME, AFL-CIO Riverhead Unit of the Suffolk Local 852, and appointment of Kelly Tucci as Acting Director of Senior Citizen Program effective October 11, 2021, pursuant to agreement setting terms and conditions of employment.
Long overdue.
Number 16, ratifies the reclassification of a Network and Systems Specialist 1. Number 17, reassigns the salary of a payroll supervisor. Number 18, appoints Eileen A. Powers Esquire to succeed Richard A. Ehlers Esquire as counsel to the Planning Board of the Town of Riverhead.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to replace Dick Ehlers. He was great mind, great knowledge of the Water District, but Eileen, she'll hit the ground running. She is very competent, very enthusiastic, and I'm glad that they unanimously thought to appoint her.
And number 19, authorizes the supervisor to execute PSA with H2M for limited soil sampling and analysis.
So I just have a question on this one. I'm wondering if this is something that has to be done, just prior to the demolition, or whether this lasts for a few months or something. Because I am concerned, and certainly I'm very excited about the town square and what's happening down there, but I have to question the timing of the demolition during during our important season downtown. I think I don't know why it wasn't pushed off to January, or a time when we weren't quite as busy in the downtown area.
It's an excellent point, but the reason being, as the town board will recall, we required remediation of the buildings prior to demolition. Why? We wanted to be more certain of the costs. So by requiring the owner at the time to undertake the remediation as a term in the contract of sale, we knew then when it came to demolition, we knew pretty certain what our costs were going to be. We weren't going to run into issues regarding remediation and abatement during the demolition process. That said, these structures are not sound enough to withstand continued weather conditions and snow loads on the roof. Because if you take a look at the remediation reports, most of the remediation was done on the roofs. And as you are also well aware, our engineering department has had to go out more than once to secure the soffits along the front of the buildings that have been deteriorating and were in risk of collapse onto the sidewalk. So demolition is key now. If you wait until the winter, and so the soil sample, just to be clear, the soil sample is intended after demolition for us to test the soil, because if it's contaminated, the contractor is going to have to remove the contaminated soil and bring in clean fill. If it is not contaminated, we will utilize soils on site, and that will keep costs down for us in the improvements into a grass area.
All right.
I would just add, I don't know exactly what the question is, but I kind of have an idea. Urgent to demolish these buildings based on their condition, and just that parapet was falling off onto Main Street, that was one. Two, we want to get grass planted so that we can utilize this space. We're going to take down those fences. It's not going to look like, a wrecking site. We're going to plant grass, put in water, put in lighting and some electric so that we could use that space. We just spoke yesterday about putting the BIDMA right next door in the Crafted building.
Yep.
And more important than all of that, because this is really urgent, and we actually toyed with the idea of demolishing these buildings in an emergency scenario because they're full of mold, the windows are gone, the roof, when they removed the rubber roof, which had the asphalt, the asbestos in it, it was the glue that held it together. So there's just roof boards now, and the parapet, which was attached with some of that rubber roof, started to fall onto Main Street. And now the roof, if the wind blows through the windows, the roof could just blow right off. So it really is urgent. I mean, we talked about this with SHPO. We spoke to the state about it. But more important than all of that is the grants. We have timeframes on these grants, and we have to move as quickly as possible
Yeah.
to spend this money. We have a contract that we agreed to. There's deadlines. And so, I don't know why we would want to delay. I'm stepping into the middle of this, so I'm not really sure what the thought process was. And we hadn't ever heard it until just this second, but
Yeah,
This is truly 30 years in the making, and I
Yeah,
can't
I'm not
imagine
really sure
for
what the
any
pur-
delay, well, we
is there
are
a
making
thought
progress,
what
we
was
need
the
to keep
reason,
going.
the thinking
No, I asked the
about why?
question, I asked the question because I just had some conversation with some of the downtown business owners over the weekend at the country fair. And, just some concerns about the timing because it's still a busy time for, businesses right now.
Well,
It's
Ca-
in a busy
Catherine?
season, so that was why I asked the question, and I
Yeah.
just, was asking about the soil sampling.
And the BIDMA also is fully in favor of doing this right away. I mean, they're not, so I'm not sure which business owners were concerned about it, but we've worked on the date with them, so they're well aware of what the date is. We avoided the country fair.
I know a little bit about grass, and if we don't seed pretty soon.
Right.
We're gonna run out of time.
And I don't
so.
want it to look like, really bad. It shouldn't.
Like
It
the
should
Sears
look-
site.
Exactly. That is not at
Right.
all what we're looking for. We've really thoughtfully planned this out, and it's all been part of the bid spec, so I would be very concerned about
Sooner the better for
delaying
grass.
at
Yes.
all
Let's go.
for
Well, the
1
only nice
second.
thing about the Sears site is that you're able to see through to the river, which is really very nice. I actually like driving down Main Street and being able to see at that site through to
Yeah,
the
it
river.
would look really nice if it had grass on it, though.
yeah, right.
Wait till you see
And
the town
Catherine,
square.
I toured the buildings last month with the fire marshal and the engineer, and they were ready to collapse almost. And the
Well, those-
fire marshal has classified it a danger. And in addition, I walked Main Street personally yesterday, and I walked through all the stores, and they were all excited. I was in Cliff's, I was in I was at the flower shop, and I walked all the stores. They knew about it, they were consulted in this regard, and they can't wait until Monday. And so it was
I think by getting it done right away, we're proving to the state of New York we're shovel-ready, we want this grant, should I say.
Yes, the grant that we
Ready.
put in for 20 million, and we're a finalist, and we're gonna move forward with that. We got some really good feedback the other day, and it looks good. It's gonna tie the blighted area, the train station to Main Street. It's gonna be beautiful, and finally, you're right,
I talked
It's on the
to
state, let's
Ken
go.
Testa the other day, and he said that the birds in there are unbelievable, that looks like there's remnants of like cushions and maybe people even.
Living in there.
Living in this place, so
Yeah.
I think something has to get done quickly.
Well, I'm aware that the buildings are in bad shape, and they have been for a long time.
yes, okay. So we'll move forward from that resolution. Anything else? Yeah, we can't wait. That's, and everybody's excited about it. Anything else? Anybody want to add anything?
Oh, yes. The recently retired Lieutenant Dave Lassard from the police department also runs our shellfish and clam restoration program. They had a very successful outing last weekend. He and the Bay Constable, they successfully planted over 330,000 seed clams in East Creek Marina and out in the bay. And they did checks and testing on the ones they put out the year before and so on and so forth, and they are doing really, really well. We know the scallops, unfortunately, are much more delicate,
Yes.
and they are having problems. They don't work on the scallops, but scallops in general in the bay are having a struggle. But the shellfish side of the clams and the oysters are incredible. The oysters are doing super great, the clams are doing super great, so kudos to them to get 330 seeds out there,
Yeah.
330,000 seeds out there. and they're very happy with the results of what's happened so far, so.
And of course, Shellfish, as everybody knows, are filters for the
Yes.
water. So
Right.
that's such a
Absolutely.
great, such a great effort by them.
When can they be harvested?
They're like really, really small.
Small.
They're
Takes a
like,
couple of
yeah, oh,
years.
yeah, absolutely.
That's
Well,
great.
and it's a shame, yeah,
great
that sounds
news.
great, Tim, and it's just such a shame what's happened with scallops in the last few years, because Peconic Bay scallops, they're so much better than sea scallops, they melt in your mouth.
There's no other scallop in the world
Right.
that I've had anywhere that tastes like a Peconic Bay
And
scallop.
it's
I
been a
used to
couple of
fish them.
years, you
Yeah.
know,
Many
it's been a
years
real
ago.
problem for a couple of years, so.
Yep, that's great. All right, that's it. All right, thank you, everyone. This concludes our work session for today, and can I please have a first and a second to close the work session, please?
Motion?
Second.
Great, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? And so move, and everyone, please be safe. If you need any, if you have any questions concerning vaccines, and also our seniors, I just want to let our seniors know that we're compiling a list for booster shots when they become available, and call the office or the senior center. And again, everyone, beautiful weather out there, get out, and see you next week.